Hey, welcome to the Brad Tragic YouTube channel. This is most likely going to be posted on junkfrenzy.com, so thank you for coming to my YouTube channel to watch this. But it's basically going to be, I believe, for the junkfrenzy.com website. But I'm going to post it, I'm going to put it on YouTube as well, and it's going to be public, so anybody can watch this. But it's basically, these are selling tips, buying and selling tips that I'm going to put out there, and hopefully they give insight to and maybe help people along the way. I know people, a lot of times now, they talk about buying and selling things, and they talk about using their little barcode scanner and, going into stores, going to yard sales. When I started doing this, I was doing this probably about 10, 12 years ago, when I was, around 18 to 22. I was selling on eBay, and I was kind of doing it kind of half-assed, I guess, so to speak. And I wouldn't do it all the time, but I'd be on the lookout for stuff, and I would just, whatever. But when I became, I believe, like around 20, 22, around 20, I was started to do a little, more in-depth, like buying and selling. And I had some experiences with certain products, and I kind of did dance around and try different, let me say, like clothing, and I tried some toys, I believe, and some other things. So I didn't try toys. Take that back. I tried clothes. I tried, I sold VHS. I sold cassettes. And this was past the time where these were actually, being sold in stores and things like that. Some things I've never sold, but I've seen online and seen how much they go shipping wise and things like that. And I hope that experience will help you, in my mistakes become your golden goose, so to speak. So what we're going to talk about today, it's going to be about books. What books should you pick up? What books should you not pick up? And I think I talked about this before, so I'm probably going to make this really brief. I'm not a big book hound, but I think one of the things you need to really consider is, and this is, like I said, this is coming from a guy that doesn't have a barcode scanner. So if you're just starting out, if you're kind of just like me, where you're trying to get this thing going again, or maybe you're just starting and you're wanting to make a little bit extra money, maybe on eBay, Amazon, things like that. If you're out and about, you don't have a fancy phone to do the barcode scan, maybe you just got a prepaid flip phone and that's all you got. There are ways to tell if they're worth it. Really, books, it's really kind of hard to tell until you get home, until you look them up. But when you're out, what you want to do is buy low. That's what you want to do. It's basically just like, the stock market. You want to buy low, you want to sell high. But in book land, it's kind of hard to make money on books. Books are really, really hard. Now, I did hear a tip from, I think it's Picking Profits. So, great guy. I like his, or I don't know if he's a great guy. I haven't really talked to him. But I like his videos. I watch him all the time. He seems like a pretty great guy. He does get pretty good tips. If I were like an avid seller on eBay, I would definitely, be like, okay, yeah, this is great tips, writing down. So definitely add Picking Profits, and he'll give you some great tips as well. And he always talks about some great stuff. He buys clothes and everything like that too. And some of the things that I don't buy, he buys. So it would kind of offset, I think, people needing tips. They would go to him. I do like Resale Renegade, so he's okay though. I don't like, sometimes some of the tips he gives doesn't really help me, because I don't have the big setup. I don't have a big apartment, so I don't have stuff where I can store things. And he's talking about lighting and all that stuff. I don't have that kind of time to do like major things like that. I just make sure the item is in a good area, and I snap a picture of it. But I can go into pictures later. I do have different methods that I do now that I've been around for a while. I kind of learned some tips and tricks for the cheap person. So very, very cheap person. So I'm going to go into that in detail later on. But books, basically you want to buy low. So if you see, so I know a good example of this is I went into a place called Bargain Bin, I think that's what it's called, in or Bargain Hunter, and it's here in Shelbyville, Tennessee. And I looked in, and I was looking around the books and such like that, and I know I wanted to probably pick up. And I was just really just looking for cheap stuff that I knew. Mainly, I'm a media guy. I go for the media, DVDs, Blu-rays, things like that. I'm gonna look for that cheap stuff to get rid of. Now you gotta really be careful too, especially books now, because you don't necessarily know what Dollar Tree is selling, and that's kind of a thing you might want to start looking at. If you're getting into this business, you really want to pay attention to what's at Dollar Tree. If you don't go to Dollar Tree like at all right now, or maybe you don't even have a Dollar Tree near you, you definitely want to make time to do a little research on that and see what Dollar Tree is selling, like, in their stores, because this could be a big thing. I know that right now they sell Blu-rays, they sell DVDs there, so you don't really ever want to put those Blu-rays or DVDs on sale, because how are you going to beat $1? I mean, really, how are you going to beat $1 when they can walk in, walk out? No shipping, nothing. So you don't want to put those online, because it would be a bad investment. I mean, if you're going to hold on to them, if you're going to put them on Amazon, and maybe you want to charge, like $3 for it or something like that, that might be a good deal. But books-wise, you're not going to really make you're not really going to make a profit. I mean, the only thing I could say is that if that's not going to deter you, if you really do want to work with Amazon, is possibly buy the book and then, charge maybe, and I was talking about DVDs a second ago, but like, when you're doing books, and you're not getting it directly from Dollar Tree, but you find out later that it was a book from Dollar Tree, you can go ahead and buy it, and then if they happen to probably turn around and sell it for $1 as well, you could turn around and sell it. But, I mean, you're probably going to hold on to it, and it's probably your best bet to put it on Amazon, because it'll sit for a while. But once that book disappears from Dollar Tree, then it'll kind of go into that realm of where there was a lot of mass-produced of those books. But if somebody doesn't know where to pick that up, then they could, they're probably going to go to your store, and they're going to look for that book. So, there you go. That's the only thing. Like, you'd probably have to sit on it for a while. But really books, like, I know when I went to the Bargain Hunter, though, I looked around, and all I found really, honestly, in the store, and I went all around the store, and then I came back, were VHS, and we'll talk about movies probably in another video here in a moment that I'll probably record. Talk about movies. They had VHS, they had some DVDs, and they had some books. They had a lot of books. Not a lot of books, but there were some books, and the most money I was going to make off of anything, the DVDs were overpriced. I mean, in this day and age, if you go in somewhere and they're charging $5 for a DVD used, not a great place. Walk away. Don't even touch the DVDs, because they're not worth it. Like I said, unless you have a barcode scanner, you're not going to know what they're going for on Amazon, and that's really your pricing point. eBay is null and void. When you're trying to figure out a price point for something, I do not go by eBay. I don't care what anybody says out there. It's a randomization of people bidding on items. And there's a fly, so if you see me swatting, you'll know why. But it's a randomization of things, so it's really, I don't trust it. I don't trust it as your pricing point. And, if you price it by eBay, you may sit on it for a long time because you don't know the actual value. So a lot of times, if you can get that price from Amazon, the used price, that kind of will give you an idea of what you can sell it for. If it's a penny item, then, well, you messed up. And, you're probably going to have to list it on Amazon, and you're probably going to have to sit on it for a while, book-wise. So, and I mean, and it's not really a bad thing, and you don't have to sell it for a penny either. That's the thing that Resale Renegade brought up, that I learned from him, and I did not list it for a penny. Some of the books I got that I didn't make, there was only, I think, a couple that I got. I think I picked up 4 books, and 2 of them ended up being not worth picking up, really. The other ones, they were not selling for a penny, but they were selling for, one was under $1, and the other one was probably about, I think, like $1.50 or something like that. And I did charge a little bit more for that because I figured, well, that book may sell, and the condition of that book wasn't that good either, I don't think. So that's what you got to go for too as well. When you see the prices on Amazon, you got to check and see what actual the sellers are selling them as. What's the description? What's the condition of the item? What's the condition of your item? And base that on the price. Their item might be acceptable, and if you don't know what that means, then you definitely need to do your research about what that means on Amazon. So there's different stages of conditions on Amazon. So definitely, books you want to buy very, very low and sell. I did, yeah. Those I picked up 2 kits. I could actually show you one of them I bought, and this one actually. Here's one of the books I got. It's The Horrible Harry and Room 2B. And I think this was one of the ones. I think this might have been. And it's in really good shape. It's it's still got white pages. I mean, I think it was made in. When was it made? It was made, I think it's like an 80s book. Well, I can't get to the one page in here. Let me see here. Oh, it was actually from 1988, Scholastic. And see, this is the thing, this is what I'm telling you guys about, is that if you guys have barcode scanners, you may not get every single book anyway. Some books, you don't have. This one doesn't even have a barcode, but it has the ISBN, as you see right there, underneath there. So you can get home, you can type that up, and it came right up on Amazon.com. So there you go. There's tips for people who have barcode scanners that, sometimes, even if you don't, buy, sell, or buy, why do I keep saying buy, sell? Buy low, and then, you're not really losing much, okay. Because I know Resale Renegade says, even a book, if you buy it, and what I did was, I stayed away from the adult books, and I basically bought the kids' books. I'm not really sure if that's the best thing. I'm not a huge book buyer guy, but I definitely stayed away from the adult books because I don't know what sells and what doesn't sell in the adult world. So I was kind of scared to get anything. All the artists I seen were things like I would probably find in Walmart. So I was kind of scared to buy. Probably next time I may buy some adult books, but quite honestly, every book I came across that was an adult book, they wanted, I think, 75 cents and higher. I found a couple places in there, a couple vendors that were selling their books cheaper, and I was buying the crap. I walked out. I went to the same person and got, I think, 2 or 3 books, and I went to another one, and he had a bunch of them priced differently, but a bunch of them were priced 25 cents. One of them may have been 50 cents, I'm thinking, but it was in really great shape. And I think it was ended up being one of the ones that wasn't worth anything. So, but I broke even, basically, for the most part. And things like that. Now, the other caveat to books is hardbacks. Well, should you buy hardbacks? That's probably where the barcode scanner would probably come into help. But a lot of the older books, they're not going to have barcodes. They're going to have the ISBN on the back. And it's really it's kind of a guessing game, really, with those. You can take a chance, if you have a little extra money, or even if they're doing the books in a bag kind of thing, take a chance on it. If you're paying, if you're paying $2 a bag for books or something, go for it, dude. I mean, what are you gonna lose? I mean, really, what are you gonna lose? And the only thing about that is, if you're going the hardback route, maybe eBay would be your option more than Amazon. Amazon, I think, will still only give you I think they still only give you $4 for a hardback. They may give you $5, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how much they give you for the. I never sold a hardback. I stay away from, honestly, because I'm just scared that I'm going to hold on to it way too long and it's not going to be worth it. But like I said, there is money to be made, and Picking Profits always talks about buying hardback books and old books, because you never know what you're going to get. You could get home and look it up, and it may be worth $20. Or you could get home and it could be worth a penny. You never know. So hardback books are kind of just like a guessing game. If you can get them for cheap, go for it. I will say that Goodwill, for a beginner, Goodwill is not very good. until you get to know your books, until you get to know, like, as a beginner, once again, it's not very good to go there not knowing what the heck you're looking for. And even books, like, I'm scared because, like, Goodwill will charge like $1 or more for a book. There's not much profit left for, a reseller. So, and I mean, they don't market to resellers, so I mean that's not something really that they're trying to advertise either. So, but yeah, you can find some good deals at, I think, Goodwill. Sometimes you just have to, and maybe something to look for is maybe to go just buy a bunch of the cheap hardbacks and see what you get. You might get lucky and make some money there. But maybe I think the best bet is, yard sale season. Go hit up a bunch of yard sales, get a bunch of books, and just try them out. Take a guess. Yard sales are probably the best way to get, a lot of things at a cheap price. So I would definitely hit up yard sales, and that's probably where you're getting your deals on your books and such like that. That you're probably really going to make more money on that than anything else. Because where you get books is a big thing. Flea markets, yard sales. Your last alternative should be Goodwill. Even used bookstores might even be a good stop. If there's a half-price books near you, might be a good option. But I wouldn't probably go for them because they actually sell books. So if they know something's not worth anything, they're going to clearance it out. The only thing I would say to that is if you're really wanting just to bulk up your inventory, books are a way to go probably, or CDs. So, little tip at the end about music. Thank you for watching. This has been my buying and selling tips for books. And I hope you continue to watch these little tips I have, and hope you continue to watch all my other videos. Thank you, and keep on rocking.